What's going on, everybody? This is Caden with Francis Cattle Company. Today we're out here in the garden, and I'm going to show you a few things right quick. I've been working on getting my tomatoes staked up here. A couple of them are doing really good, and I've had a few kind of growing where I don't want them. And so right here you can see I took this one out, and it's got a few roots down in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these lower hanging little leaves here and stems, because all of this right here can become root. And I think a lot of people know that about tomato plants, but some people may not. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just planting it right there, I'm going to try to plant it up to about right there, and that'll promote, you know, a stronger root system. So I'm going to dig out a little bit deeper here and plant this tomato plant as deep as I can. I have been seeing a lot of people do like planting them laying down. One of mine's actually kind of doing that on accident, but I think that right there is going to be pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and backfill this little hole here. Make sure it's kind of packed in nice and tight and give that plant the support that it needs. And also don't want any air bubbles and air pockets getting down in there. So now that that plant is going to have a little bit better root structure and root system than what it did have. So I'm going to take one of these tomato cages, which is just one of the, you know, $3 ones you can get at Tractor Supply, and we'll just go ahead and stake that up right quick. And as this tomato plant grows, we'll kind of just help it, make sure it keeps on finding its way up through the center of this tomato stake, and just hope that it climbs on up and grows. Alrighty, so that's kind of the tomatoes. I've got beefsteak and then some Cherokee purples, and I think the one I just planted over there was a Cherokee purple, and then that one and that one are Cherokee purples. And as you can see, there's a small one there by my shovel, and then there's one right there in the middle, and there's one over there by the wall that's growing. So I'm gonna have to relocate them. I may move that biggest one right here, but in between these two, which I believe that one and that one are my beefsteak. Right here is my okra bed. It did all right. There's at least 4, maybe a small one right there. I can't tell. It might just be a weed, but I know I've got 4 okra plants that are doing good. And then of course you can see my squash is doing really good. Most of them in there have a lot of their flowers on and are starting to put on some squash. This one especially, it has a lot on there. So we got a little one there, right there, and then that's going to be one, and really all that's going to be squash. So here in the next couple weeks, we should have some squash to eat. So I'm looking forward to that. This back here was going to be, I had bell peppers planted, but no bell peppers came up in here. But I decided I was going to make this kind of like a compost pile, and so I started to put some scraps in there while I put a cantaloupe in there. And as you can see, it's put out a bunch, and this is the second time it's done that. The first time I took them all out, except for a few, but they died. But they also didn't have their, you know, that leaf right there, which is like their second leaf. So once they get to that point, they start a root system. So I'm going to kind of just keep on working towards that. thinning it out until I have maybe 2 or 3 of those. That it'll be like a hybrid because it came from the store, so I really don't know how it'll do as far as putting out a good fruit, but we'll see. Then of course here's my little flower garden I done. I've got petunias, marigolds, and I can't remember the name of what's there in the middle. I looked it up, but I can't remember now. But yeah, I've got multiple colors of petunias in there. Of course, the yellow marigolds. I think this is my favorite petunia. It had 2 or 3 blooms on it, but this is a new one. The other ones, I guess, being transplanted, died, but you can see there's probably gonna be one there and one there, so they're doing pretty good. And then that's just weeds right now. I may do something in there different. I got 4 bell pepper plants I'm gonna find a place for in there. But while we're just kind of showing you around the garden, I'm gonna go ahead and show you our main cantaloupe patch. Now the weeds are kind of coming up in the middle, but some of our actual cantaloupes are doing really good. I've had a lot of people asking me about them, so you know, there's 3 really good plants. There's one in here that's doing all right. Try to get the weeds out. There's 2 in here and then a weed. But we've been getting so much rain that I actually haven't had to do any or much watering. I've watered maybe once this week, but it's been so wet, so I've just been letting nature do its thing. But like I say, you know, there's some holes that didn't take, but the ones that did, they're doing good. So I am pretty excited about that. Walk down here and show off the other garden, and I actually planted some more cantaloupes in there. I planted some first, like before this, that are different variety, and they're doing really good. But I planted more about 2 or 3 weekends ago, and they are, I guess it was Mother's Day weekend, that's the weekend I did it, so they're starting to come up decent. Of course, my whole family's kind of, my in-laws and stuff, we're all planting in this, so we've got several rows of corn and peas and beans in between everybody. But I'm just gonna show you what I planted. The weeds are really bad, but everything's grown up so much now. So this is my first row of my new cantaloupes I planted. You can see some of them are doing good. There's that one right there's the next row, and then I planted, I think maybe 4 rows. Yeah, there's one there, and then this is supposed to be a row here, which there's one right there. But I think I planted 80. Definitely all 80 haven't come up yet, but there's gonna be 80, and this is the same variety as what I planted up there by the house. Now I've got some sugar baby watermelons right here. I believe I've got about 15 of these, and they're doing really good. And then here's my different variety of cantaloupe, and they're doing really good just out here. I started out by watering these about every day, and then now I haven't watered them in a while. But you can see they're kind of wanting to start to run and vine out. Beans are doing pretty good. There's a few that are kind of yellowing, so I may need to put some kind of fertilizer around them. But here's a bean plant there. Of course, these are bush beans. There's some of my sweet corn there growing. My best corn's at the very end, but I've got my peas staked up and growing. I've actually already harvested some. You can see there's a pea that's or a pod that's not quite ready, but it's going to be ready by the end of the week probably. Here's one that's really going to be ready in the next couple of days. There's about 3 or 4 on this one, and then over here this one's probably going to be ready tomorrow, and some of these other ones here. So they're loaded with peas. These are 2 cucumber plants right here that are just kind of running. And I think that's one right there, but it ain't doing so hot. Of course, just keep on going. You got corn and peas, and that one right there, that pod's almost ready. So you can tell these pea plants are loaded down with pods. Every time I come out here, there's more, it seems like. Of course, like I said, the weeds are really high. I need to get in here and do something about them, but everything is growing good. There's a pod, and there's a pod. So yeah, each plant has about 4 or 5 pods on them right now. I got about 6 last night. But yeah, this is the best. This corn here is doing the best. So yeah, that's and my brother-in-law, he's got some stuff planted, but everything's growing and doing good. Hopefully here in the next few weeks we'll have some stuff to harvest. I hope. So yeah, the garden's coming along pretty good. Like I said, the weeds are out, they're pretty bad, but everything else is growing. All the actual stuff we planted is growing above them. So that's kind of all the updates on the gardening I've got. I need to go spray some fly spray on my bull. So I may run and do that. Other than that though, we cut the grass today. So it was just kind of a day of working around the house and around the farm and stuff. We've had rain like crazy, which I'm very glad we have. I think this week's the only week we haven't just had multiple inches, but we've still had a good bit of rain, you know, a few scattered showers here and there. But I'm gonna do a little bit more with these tomatoes, and then I'm going to I need to water this one in, and then the rest of them I'll move around a few, and then we'll go and see about spraying the bull with some fly spray. So we'll be right back. As you can see, them flies are pretty bad on him, so I'm gonna, while he's eating, I'm gonna kind of get my fly spray on him and try to knock some of them flies back. Stand up here by on these telephone posts. Hey, boy, it's all right. There went a rabbit. Hey, bull, come on. It's all right, buddy. It's all right, bull. This ain't gonna hurt you. It's all right, bud. Go on ahead and eat. He's looking pretty good. I'm pretty proud of, or pleased with how he's looking. He's got plenty of grass over here, and he gets a good bit of feed. I gotta get them flies off his head. I just don't want to spray him in the eyes. The other ones were a whole lot easier to spray. They didn't quite care as much as he does. But he don't like, he must not like the feeling of that spray on his back. Go on and eat, bud. Go on and eat. Now the reason I'm standing a little bit further back from him than maybe some of you would is because I don't want him to get too mad at me and be close enough to me where he can hit me with that head. I don't think he would, but you really just never know what a bull's gonna do, really a cow in general. I'm also, like right there is a pretty fresh pile of manure. I'm gonna spray in there and just make sure if there was any fly eggs in there that they won't make it out of hatching. But he's got pretty good. I'm gonna try to get him on this side over here, and then I'll probably go ahead and just leave him alone. Flies aren't super bad on him, but they're definitely aggravating him. I need to get him some mineral. I think I've heard a lot of people say that they use the garlic powder mineral and it helps with face flies, so I may get him some of that to put in here and just let him have it free choice. But for right now, that's pretty good. I think here in the next couple weeks we're going to put a few more calves in here. We've got probably maybe three or four are going to come in here with him. One will be a steer, or two will be steers I think, and one may be a bull. So we're going to take care of that when we wean our calves here in the next couple of weeks. We've been wanting to get to it, but I think there's enough grass in there for them cows. I think they can stand to hold on to them calves just a little bit longer. But that's about all I got for today. I'm gonna go look at a heifer here in a little bit. One of my buddies has a black body heifer, about, I think he said she's a 5 weight, so about 500 pounds. So I'll probably go look at her and just see if I want her. I may get her, may not. But then we'll go do that, and that's probably all I'm gonna really, the only other thing farming wise I'm gonna do today is go look at that heifer. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.